The following is a presentation of the Championship Racing Network.
Crossed Flags, a racing podcast. It's your midweek fix for racing news and information. Brought to you by the Championship Racing Network. Now let's head trackside to join your hosts, Steve West and Matt Nicholson.
Welcome to the latest edition of Crossed Flags. Myself, Steve West, along with Matt Nicholson, producer Molly Robinson with us in the background there, not pictured, as you might be able to tell. This one's going to be a little bit longer than the usual one. We don't have the big show coming up this weekend because, well, we've got a big show coming up at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, we're a little busy.
We're going to be a little busy out there and got to be up in the PA booth at 8 a.m.-ish. Which is right about the time we'd start the big show. If you are long-term fans of this particular podcast, you know that because we tease it at the end of every single one of them. But not this weekend, unfortunately. But again, great big show coming up at Talladega. If you haven't got your tickets, get them now. They're going fast. But I want to lead off with this because we have talked about the battle here. And you think about the kings of all sports, and football is the master when it comes to television here in the United States of America, and college football follows right behind it. And I've said it on many occasions, although the gap seems to be closing some, third place is generally almost always the Cup Series, especially if it's just a run-of-the-mill Major League Baseball game, NBA game, NHL game. Cup Series is going to beat it every time.
Yep.
Playoffs might be a little bit different, but that's another story entirely. Well, now we finally get to figure out exactly where things are because we've got a very interesting battle coming up this weekend.
Oh, monumental.
We are racing at Talladega Superspeedway for the Cup Series on Sunday. Over in Texas, the boys from Formula One are in the country. And that means that we have a situation where Formula One and NASCAR are going to be going head-to-head. They're going to be racing at COTA. Their race will start at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central Time. Our race at Talladega, and I say our because we're both going to be there, will start at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central Time. Both of them are on networks. Formula One, because it's in the United States, they're going to put them on ESPN. Nope, they're going to put them on ABC. So that's going to be one change. And this race at Talladega marks the first of 3 races in a row that Cup Series ends up on NBC. So ABC versus NBC, Cup Series versus Formula One.
You know, and for our people here in the state of Alabama, the absolute epic sports weekend overall that lays here within the state. You know, you got the events at Talladega, then plus Tuscaloosa, you got the third Saturday in October. You got Auburn and Missouri playing in Jordan-Hare. Tomorrow night, you've got JSU playing Delaware. UAB's at home this weekend. You know, and then, let's add in at Alabama International Dragway, the IHRA World Finals.
Yeah. So if you are a sports fan and you're thinking that there's nothing to do here in Alabama,
look again.
We just proved you very wrong.
Yeah.
You're not looking very hard. So, yeah, this battle ought to be pretty interesting. We'll keep an eye on it, and, of course, we'll talk about it when we get back and get done with Talladega Superspeedway because it is going to be very interesting to know. We should know at least preliminary numbers by the time we get around to this podcast next week.
And then let's throw in the NBA tonight in Birmingham. Tomorrow night, Auburn and Oklahoma State. Thursday night, Alabama and Florida State playing basketball at Boutwell. Let's throw that in there, too.
You know, just in case, like we said, you were looking for something sports-wise to do here in the state.
Baseball can't help you.
No, sorry. Barons won the Southern League Championship, but that season's done. Sorry.
Yep.
From there, we're going to go into what I don't know whether this is going to change many people's opinion of one Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin has become the guy that appears to be the black hat dude. He has taken on the evil man role, if you will. He's the guy that everybody loves to hate. If you want proof of it, go back and listen to as he was getting out of the car just last weekend, just a couple of days ago as we do this live in Las Vegas, and hear the boos that were raining down upon him. But look really close at this picture that you see here. You'll see he's crying. And it's not because he won the race. That's his 6th win of the year. It's his 60th win of his career. Nice benchmark, by the way. 60th win of his career. That puts him now tied with Kevin Harvick, 10th on the all-time Cup Series wins list. Nothing to sneeze at. Regardless of whether you like him or not, you got to respect the fact that the man knows how to drive.
No doubt about it.
But he was driving with something of, shall we say, a weight on his mind?
Absolutely.
We've talked about the situation with Tyler Reddick over the past couple of weeks where he and his wife and their young, is it 4-month-old?
4-month-old, yeah.
4-month-old son, rookie, has a heart problem, a problem where a tumor is growing near his heart and his lungs, and it's really affecting his ability to get blood pumping properly. And it has caused an enlarged heart. It has actually starved one of his kidneys of blood. They're going to have to take that out. In fact, as we are doing this, I think he was supposed to be in the operating room today.
I think so, yeah.
So our thoughts and our prayers are out to Rookie. He's not the only one dealing with health problems. Denny Hamlin's not. His dad is. So this explains a lot of the look that you're seeing from him here. He's got tears in his eyes as he got out and he was doing the post-race interview. He was very teary as well. So, my question for you, Matt, is this. Yeah, he's the resident bad guy. He's the guy we all love to hate. But does this temper that a little for some? And I'm not going to say for most people. I'm going to say for some.
I think it does some because, getting to that point of where you're at win 60 and you're within the top 10 of all-time wins in the series, that's nothing to bat an eye at all. And then, but it's too as well, driving with the weight on your shoulders that your father's in ailing health, and as somebody that helped you through your younger days, exhausted everything they could to keep your career going, and look where it's got you. I can rightfully and understandably see why he was in the frame of mind that he was in, and you can't blink an eye at it. You can't turn a cold shoulder to it, if that's a fair way to put it. But I've said this several times on our platforms that along with Justin Marks, and I mean this phrase in the most every positive way possible, he's one of the most dangerous car owners in the series. From a business standpoint, how you run your business, how you evolve everything, he's very dangerous, just like Justin Marks is.
Yeah. Oh, no, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. And you think about what Denny Hamlin and 2311 are trying to do. They, along with Front Row, we've gone over ad nauseum, God only knows how many times, details about motions here and requests there and all that kind of stuff. But the power that he wields along with Michael Jordan is not to be underestimated by any stretch of the imagination. He is a very powerful guy. You are very correct. In thinking about Denny Hamlin, though, and that brings us to this situation here where he's guaranteed to move on. With that win, he's going to Phoenix. He's one of the 4. As we take a look at the points here and figure out how things are going, I didn't expect this much movement at Phoenix. I was expecting it to at Las Vegas. I was expecting it maybe this weekend at Talladega, but not at Las Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas was a huge shovel.
Denny Hamlin moves on. We know that. Kyle Larson's 35 over. There's still things that could happen, though, between not only a wild card at Talladega, but a short track at Martinsville where everybody's just jammed in together, 38 to 40 cars. There are 40 cars this weekend at Talladega in the Cup Series.
I think Larson's safe.
Probably, but still, there's that ever-present chance that he could get caught up of something not of his doing at either or both of those tracks.
Yeah.
Christopher Bell, 20 over the cut. Chase Briscoe's interesting. He's sitting there 15 points over the cut. He went into Las Vegas 14 points under.
Yeah.
So that's an almost 30-point swing for Chase Briscoe. Watch out for him. Chase Elliott is, William Byron first. We'll deal with him. 15 under the cut. That was aided a little bit by the whole Ty Dillon situation.
Yeah.
Ty Dillon insists all day long and 9 ways to Sunday that he told his spotter told the 24 he was coming in for a pit, to the pits. But when you look at the video of that, and it's kind of harrowing if you get the in-car video of the 24, he barely checked up before he slammed into the 10 car. He was so caught unawares by that. Well, so somewhere down the line, there's a miscommunication somewhere.
1, there's a miscommunication. 2, right there at the point where that accident happened, sunlight going down the straightaway is a huge, huge factor.
Yeah,
in Vegas.
especially at that time of the afternoon.
Very huge factor. So I think that's a double-edged sword there. So there's some spotter communication somewhere that had a glitch, let's call it that, since that seems to be the word of the day, glitches. But it's kind of unexcusable for that to happen because that spotter communication is critical.
Yeah.
Especially right there at that point of the track. But at the same time, Ty Dillon should have been a lot lower than what he was.
Well, yeah, that I can agree with. There are a whole lot of problems there. So William Byron gets dinged, maybe the hardest of almost everybody. Almost. Chase Elliott, 25 under the cut. Joey Logano ended up basically in the same spot, 24 under going into Vegas, 24 under coming out of Vegas. So really no change for him. And then you got Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano's teammate at Team Penske, and he went out real early. Real early. And not really anything that he could have done much with that particular situation. Blow out the tire and
tire lets
chaos.
go. Tire lets go. There's nothing you can do about that.
He's 31 under the cut. If there is a saving grace for Joey Logano and for Ryan Blaney, it's the fact that both of them are very good at Talladega. Ryan Blaney's got a couple of wins, very narrow wins. We used to call him James Bond. Both of those both most recent wins at Talladega were by 0.007 of a second.
Yep.
That's almost blinding when it comes to close. You can't tell the difference at real speed. You have to go photo finish. Joey Logano's got, 3 wins at Talladega, if I remember
think they both
right?
have 3 apiece.
Yeah, so they both know how to do this. So don't be surprised if either one of them shows up at the front of the field as we're getting close to lap 188 and ready to throw a white and a checkered flag. Chase Elliott's pretty good at Talladega too. It's not too far away from his home, so it is a place that he likes to run. William Byron, here's the thing, Hendrick Motorsports, we'll just throw it out there. Hendrick Motorsports is really good, especially in qualifying at either Daytona or Talladega, and they tend to run very well. Kyle Larson is one of those guys who seems to be zeroing in on it because if there's one thing that Kyle Larson has the ability to do, he can run it right up to the edge, but unfortunately he runs it just a little bit over. And if you go a little over the edge at Talladega, you're done. And he's gone a little over the edge too much. But if he can run right on that edge, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Chase Elliott, all of them very, very dangerous there. And now that Denny Hamlin is in a situation where he's won and he's in, depending on who's running better, he's got his choice between 2 Joe Gibbs Racing teammates in Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell as to who he would like to help push and maybe try and assist them and keep a Team Penske car from locking themselves in.
I've got a feeling you're going to see a slew of Toyotas lined up pushing and helping each other Sunday.
Yeah. And it's to help 2 guys. Again, Denny Hamlin's in. Don't have to worry about him. It's Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe that they're going to be doing their level best to help.
Yep.
And that's the kind of the fun part about this. When you think about it, we've got 3 Joe Gibbs Racing cars. We got 3 Hendrick Motorsports cars. They represent the Chevy camp. We got the 2 Ford cars representing Team Penske. So we've got the 3 big dogs, and we've got all 3 Cup car makers in there. This is going to be an interesting battle coming up on Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
And these numbers right here that you see, the only one that's locked in is Denny Hamlin. That's it. Everything else could radically change. And then there's silly season as we wrap up our chat here. Just before we went to podcast, we found out that Spire Motorsports and Justin Haley have agreed to part ways.
Not surprised.
I'll be honest with you, I felt like this might be happening a little bit sooner. They didn't announce who was going to be in, but we do know there is at least one big free agent pending out there, and that's Daniel Suarez. You think he might be a front runner for that?
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Is he a lock?
I personally think he is a lock. Personally.
So we'll watch out for that one. On the Xfinity Series level, there's the hard luck situation of one Matt DiBenedetto. Matt DiBenedetto is running for Viking Motorsports this year, and Viking is an interesting situation. They are a relatively new team. Here's the statement from Viking Motorsports right here, talking about how they've decided to split ways effective immediately.
Stupid.
The Justin Haley situation takes effect at the end of the year. It's not going to happen now. But the Viking Motorsports situation happens right now. So for Talladega, Martinsville, and Phoenix, they're switching from Matt DiBenedetto and going with Connor Mosack. And Connor's not a bad kid. He's a good racer. He's not quite as established as Matt DiBenedetto. He's not quite as experienced as Matt DiBenedetto, but he's a good young racer. But I'm not sure why you make this switch.
Not especially when you're going into your track where you have your team best finish of the year and your best shot to go to victory lane. It's puzzling. Question I've got is who initiated the talks of going separate ways? Does he have a better ride lined up? Do they have somebody better lined up? If you ask me personally, if they're looking at putting Connor Mosack in the car, I think you're looking the wrong direction.
I don't think that that's necessarily an upgrade. Again, I did call him a good, pretty talented young racer, but he's rough around the edges. He hasn't smoothed those edges off yet. Matt DiBenedetto has. Now, has he lit up the world? No. Is that Matt DiBenedetto's fault? I can't really blame Matt DiBenedetto.
No.
Viking Motorsports is a single car team. They've got some learning to do. They've only been around for what, a couple of years?
I'm pretty sure they share a shop with BJ McLeod Motorsports. It's them. And if memory serves me correct, I think the PRG Pinnacle Racing Group ARCA team is in the same building.
Those guys aren't helping you, Viking.
No.
They aren't helping you. All due respect to BJ McLeod, and I've never met him, okay? Don't get me wrong, I've never met him. But from everything I understand, he's a class guy, upstanding, really, really good hardcore racer, loves to do what he does, but unfortunately his equipment is not at the same level of the upper level teams. Your Hendricks, we'll go with the Xfinity guys, your Hendricks, your Junior Motorsports, your Haas factory teams, those guys, I'm sorry, Viking Motorsports can't hold a candle to them. And it's sad to say, but they can't. And you're blaming the driver, and you're looking at the wrong place to blame.
Yeah.
Matt DiBenedetto is a good racer, and I have to admit, I really, really feel for Matt DiBenedetto because this is far from the first time he's gotten a raw deal like this.
Rackley War. That's the only thing I'm going to say. This has happened to him before. Rackley War.
And truth be told, I think the Wood brothers made a mistake in getting rid of him too.
I don't think that was all Wood brothers. I think that was more Penske.
I get it, but still, I think it was a mistake for them to have.
Oh, a huge mistake because he should have had a couple of Talladega wins and Cup.
And so close to a win at Bristol.
Yeah.
In the night race.
In the night race in the Levi car.
Yeah. So I feel for Matt. I hope that Matt gets another ride. Matt is deserving of having another ride. Matt's deserving of having a better ride, truth be told. I hope he gets it. It will be interesting to see as we approach the end of this season and we start to see these dominoes beginning to fall. It'll be real interesting to see who all's coming out of a car and where they end up landing, because as we have noted here, we've got 5 trucks coming into the Craftsman Truck Series officially as of next year that really don't have anybody attached yet, and they're starting to get some really interesting names available, like a Matt DiBenedetto out there. It should be real interesting to see what Cowlick Racing and what the Ram Trucks crew do as they make their foray back into NASCAR via the Truck Series with a 5-truck team and how they're going to fill that. Knowing
this now, that he's open, if I'm Chris Rice, my phone's calling him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm putting him in a seat. And quite honestly, he's my flagship driver.
I would agree
with what's open. He's my flagship driver.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. It's going to be interesting to watch. Like I said, the Formula One versus NASCAR situation going to be interesting as well, because they're both going to be on at the same time coming up this Sunday afternoon. We'll have to see who it is that we find ourselves more interested in. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, kind of on a parallel course on that, if you want to put it that way. I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago in talking about how fans being in the stands. This is going to be the test. If NASCAR really seriously has a problem at this time of the year with fans showing up at the racetrack, Talladega is where we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
If the grandstands are less than 80% full, we have a problem. But if they're more than 80% full, which is easily what we've averaged, if not getting close to a sellout, every single race over the last, I'll even go back through before COVID. COVID was obviously a different deal, but once we were allowed to get back to full attendance, we've been averaging 85 to 100% grandstands full. If we're less than that this week in the Cup Series race on Sunday, then we know NASCAR's got a problem. And Steve O'Donnell and everybody, Steve Phelps, everybody that's down there at Daytona and everybody that's up there in Charlotte, they need to start figuring out what it is that they have been doing wrong. Steve O'Donnell in a recent Dale Jr. Download podcast said they want to try to get back to their grassroots. Well, here we go.
You can't get more grassroots than Talladega.
No, you can't. If Talladega's starting to lose the fans, you're in trouble. Because Talladega is not just about going there and experiencing the race. Talladega is there. People have been going there for years, some since all the way back when the track first opened in 1969, and they spend the entire weekend there. We found out when we had Talladega president Brian Crichton on a week ago, before the Las Vegas race, that there were already RVs lined up waiting for the campgrounds to open.
Yep.
This is a destination place for NASCAR fans. They come to Talladega first and foremost because of the atmosphere. Friday night, they got a rodeo. Saturday night concert, the big parties in the infield, the big one on the boulevard, as we love to call it. And then the racing action on the track, which gets 3 wide in a heartbeat. And we've seen over the last couple of races, 4 wide for extended periods of time. I'm talking 15 to 20 laps at a time. So yeah, we'll be watching to see what the grandstands look like at Talladega. And that will tell us whether we have a problem or whether we've been making a whole lot of something out of a whole lot of nothing. Big mountain out of a molehill, in other words.
Yep.
All stuff to watch for. And we'll talk about it next Tuesday when we rejoin you. Again, no big show this Saturday. So the next time we'll talk to you will be right here on Cross Flags next week. Hope you join us then. And until then, don't forget to subscribe and comment down below. We love it when you do that. And we'll talk to you next week.
You've been listening to Crossed Flags, a racing podcast. For more content like this, subscribe to CRN Live on YouTube, and you'll be set to catch the 2-hour live show every Saturday morning at 9 Eastern, 8 Central.
This has been a presentation of the Championship Racing Network.